Hello everyone, welcome to another Godforge video. This is Unbound Sage here, and we're going to be talking about Desecrated Daimyo. This is part 2. Part 1 was the gameplay. I'm really excited to see the gameplay. I speculate that, killing the ads will be easier, right? It will be the late game strategy, but in the early game, you might have to do some finagling, you might not have enough damage. And a lot of content creators kind of agreed that killing the ads is better, but I'm interested to see how feasible it is just to kill him. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the lore of the Daimyo today, right? And specifically, this is his narrative description, right? Already a fearsome warrior on path of conquest. These modes are fear Nobunaga, right? And so this is a chaos corrupted variant of Nobunaga, drawn from parts and planes unknown. Okay? Cool. And then this is just, the thing, and we really care about the lore here. So we see here, this is an afterlife, right, in Welsh mythology, right? So we see, this is an important thing, right? When all these realms are here, you're getting all of it, right? So Avalon is having, Anon, right? It's having this, right? I don't know how to pronounce it. But, and, the chaos scripted variant of him, this is interesting, drawn from parts and planes unknown. And so here's what my brain is thinking about. The fires of creation are gone, right? Gilgamesh shattered the ether well, and it turns into the Godforge, which is under our possession as a scion. So chaos and order cannot create new things anymore, right? This was a fire of creation used, what's the line? Used by the primal powers to sculpt the cosmos, right? So we talked about gods losing power, right? And this may be the reason why Ra and Zeus cannot create anymore using their divinity, right? Because the old way is gone with Gilgamesh shattering this. So we have this interesting idea of the primal powers, chaos specifically, having to pull existing creation to create his war machine, right? That is the Desecrated Daimyo. That's interesting, right? And I think that's just something I want to put a pin in, something to think about. But the order and chaos are significantly weakened with this shattering, right? And I wonder, I don't really we thought maybe chaos was behind this shattering, but I don't think that chaos is behind this, right? I don't think that, he pulled the ear of Odin or the ear of Morgan and was like, hey, tell Gilgamesh to go shatter it. That's not what happened here. This hurt both of them. So, next point, right? Let's go back to the trailer again. This is clearly an invasion. And could it be Valhalla? Right? We know that the Welsh afterlife, right, is in the game. Why isn't Valhalla? And if you consider that everyone here is a warrior, everyone here is in armor. Right? And Valhalla is a place where warriors go to fight forever and then go drink alcohol, right? It's awesome there, right? You drink some brewskis, you go fight your boys, you go die, you respawn in the guild hall, right? You go drink some more brewskis, you go fight your boys. So the fact that we only see warriors here and the fact it's an invasion is this a similar vein to this, right? Is this an afterworld being invaded by something, right? By Ra, right? And so I think this is further supported by Brynhild. Brynhild is terribly surprised this happening, and Brynhild is a Valkyrie, and Valkyries are guardians of Valhalla. They bring the fallen soldiers to Valhalla. So I think this further supports that this is Valhalla because Brynhild's here, right? And so, it makes sense to me. And so the next question I think on everyone's mind is, so that brings me to my next point here. Why is Ra here? He is not a god of destruction. He is a wrathful god. and he does not take kindly to being, insulted. But he is not a god of destruction, right? He is very powerful, but he's seen as a benevolent god. He's seen as the god of light, creation, and the sun, which, those are good things, right? That's kind of the Shamash qualities of him, right? He's very similar to Shamash in that way, but he's also seen as a god of wrath as well. But not a god of like blind destruction. And in fact, one of his daughters, Sakment, right? Is that her name? The lioness one? She went on a blind rampage slaughtering people, and Ra stopped her, right? So he's not a big fan of this blind destruction, right? And so I think there's two theories here. The first theory is he's here for revenge. In a lot of lore, right? We see, or a lot of the God Forge videos rather, we see Norse gods fighting Egyptian gods quite often, actually, right? Egyptian gods are often squaring up against Norse gods. So I could see an argument like this is actually just Ra that is, he's here to clap back, right? He's here to smack him around. But the theory we are going to discuss today is this isn't Ra. This is a corrupted version of Ra. And this is the theory I kind of want to tie together today. So what am I thinking, right? You're thinking, well, Sage, Nobunaga is purple and Ra is not purple. This looks like Ra. And I have two things to refute that, right? One, first of all, you're absolutely right. Ra is not purple. I agree with that, and I cannot refute that. But one, the cinematic was shot before Aaron, the lead narrative director, was on the Fateless team. So while the lore hasn't changed too much, the details have, right? And he talks about a realignment here. I have a note here. He talks about a realignment was necessary. He talks about that in Adam's Pod Forge. And so, this could be one of those alignments was they won this invasion of Valhalla, but they weren't sure, how exactly the details of that, whatever, if that's going to be Chaos Corrupted or is that the real Ra. So, this could be one of those alignment things where hey, the invasion did happen, but we don't have the, the details are a bit, bit messy, right? And then Aaron came and cleaned them up, right? And then the second thing I think is more interesting to me and my working theory is I never said this was a chaos corrupted version of Ra. What if this is an order corrupted chaos of Ra? Remember, order cannot make new things either. And order is not off the hook for being a bad person, for being a bad primal deity. Their primal war with each other is what caused, this problem, right? So whenever you talk about chaos, you need to talk about order in equal measure. They are both not good. And so my point is that Valhalla is a very chaotic place, right? This is a place of fighting. This is a place of revelry. Maybe order's counterattacking here, right? And you kind of, that's kind of my thing. And the reason why it looks so close to the actual Ra is because chaos is a values creativity, right? Chaos in measure is creativity. And so, when he's making Nobunaga, he's like, well, hey, Nobunaga's great. Hear me out here, though. I'm going to make him have some skulls. I'm going to make him have some purple veins. He's going to be dope. And then Order, using the parts from places unknown, recreating Ra's no, we're going to make the perfect Ra. It's going to be Ra 2.0. Maybe this is even inspired by us using the Godforge to make characters. Maybe that sparks the idea of remaking the gods they can use as a puppet rather than, the actual gods who are not puppets, right? So this Nobunaga here could be what is it called? Could be a puppet of chaos, as this is a puppet of order, right? Maybe this is not the actual Ra. And that's kind of, what I'm thinking about when I'm talking about these, the rewatching this trailer with the new lore in mind. So I'll go back to the new lore. We'll have to go through all this. right? So you go ahead and read this. A lot of content creators cover this as well, but there's a lot of interesting things as well. Another side note, just a little just to say things too. I think it's interesting that Aether and Time are capitalized here as if they are some kind of force. We know Aether's a force, but Time, that's interesting, right? So maybe Time is also a kind of an element in this game. So interesting, right? But yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. Just a small little lore video, right? Small little speculation, if you will. But yeah, I'd say make sure you don't confuse order for good and chaos for evil, right? Just because chaos is doing more chaotic things doesn't mean order is doing just like it can be just as maleficent, right? Just as evil. So make sure you're check your assumptions, right? I think this is quite likely to be a chaos, or not chaos, was the word an order corrupted version of Raw. That's my theory. That's my flag in the sand here. It doesn't make sense for Raw to do this, and Aaron also said whenever a character does something that doesn't make sense, you should ask why they're doing that, and that's my reason why. So with that, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment to what you think down below. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys later.